Can I give you my favorite Warren Buffett quotes? Now, some of you might say, well, he's an old man, he's a has-been, not me, Warren Buffett. So what do we care about listening to him? He's got words of wisdom, and I think they're really good. Like the first one, rule number one, never lose money. I've written them down, by the way, in case you thought I've memorized them. I'm not that much of a geek. Rule number one, never lose money. Rule number two, never forget rule number one. People think that the super rich get rich by taking big bets on a few things. They don't. Actually, what they do is they focus on the downside. They just make sure they don't lose the money. The difference between the rich and poor, in my experience, has always been that the ones who have made the money have managed to keep it by definition. It's obviously the case. Whereas lots and lots of people otherwise have made money and have managed to lose it because they forgot rule number one. Here's another one for you. You might like this. A very rich person should leave their kids enough to do anything, but not enough to do nothing. Think about it for a moment. I know many of you watching this will be relatively young, or you'll be parents. I think it's bloody good advice. Number three, it's class warfare. My class is winning, but it shouldn't be. And I take his point of what he's saying. And it's unusual for him to use, I don't know, Marxist terminology, given that he's a capitalist. And he's right. His class, the investor class, the capitalist class, is winning. And there's many reasons to assume it shouldn't be winning. He's rightly said that he pays far less tax than he should. And you might say, well, if you're paying so little tax and you think you should pay more, why don't you just donate it? Well, he does. They do. He's given away a lot of his wealth. So that's not the point. The point is the system, and as he rightly says, taxes him pro rata less than it does his cleaner. There's just something which all political groups haven't managed to solve, which is the right amount of taxation for somebody in his category, and dare I say it, my category, and everybody else. Number four, if you're in the luckiest 1% of humanity, you owe it to the rest of humanity to think about the other 99%. His words. He's a multi-billionaire. And as you'll know, with his pledge to give away the vast majority of his wealth whilst alive. And that's because he knows he's the luckiest in the 1% of humanity. I remember as a barrister, we used to sit around these tables in the dining rooms. And there'd be some of them just smoking, sitting back, or whatever rooms we were in, thinking they were incredibly successful. And I used to think, well, unless you're Bill Gates or Warren Buffett, or whatever measure of success you have, there's always a bigger fish. I wouldn't congratulate myself too quickly. And I think about everyone else, and the greatest success will come from uplifting those. Anyway, hope you found some of these quotes helpful. I'll give you more in the future.